All right, today we are going to be testing charging the Tesla Cybertruck off of just solar. It's a little bit cloudy. It's a cold winter day here in Boise, Idaho, but we're gonna see what we can get up to. All right, so we're all loaded up. You can see all 6 panels barely take any room in the bed at all. We have a whole area left for camping supplies, whatever it might be. We're going to be partnering the solar panels today with this Pecron E3600LFP. What this does is it takes in the DC input from the solar panels and converts it into an AC output that we can use to charge the Cybertruck just from sun power. It's a little windy today. It is the middle of winter, so we do start to get these temperature differentials that cause a lot of wind, but we'll make it work. We got some pretty good sun coming out with the clouds clearing, so we'll get some good solar today. It really amazes me how many people don't actually know that the Cybertruck is an off-roading vehicle. You actually go down here to this icon and you can actually open up the entire off-roading menu. It completely changes the way that the car drives. You can get all these camera views, including the front bumper. You got these side views. All this is for overlanding. You also have Baja mode, which is great. This is for like deep sand or just driving very, very quickly over bumps. You also have locking differentials with rear and front and back, which can be triggered from that screen or actually just by tapping these icons here. You get front motor temp, rear motor temp, and battery temp, as well as all of your information here. Your clearance, right now we're sitting at 14 inches, and we can even go up to 16 inches of clearance if we go into extract mode. All right, so these panels actually open very easily. You have these 2 clips, one on the bottom, one on the top. I usually go to my last panel. I mark out about 6 steps. That's a perfect placement. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Go ahead and look for which end is the bottom of the Velcro. That'd be this end. Undo the clip at the top, clip at the bottom, open your Velcro and drop. Open the Velcro, drop. Open the Velcro and drop. This one might catch. So we're gonna turn it back a little bit into the wind. So what I did is we actually have 3 panels here, all in series. Plugs into here over XT60. Same thing with these 3. Right now, we're pulling in above 90 volts per panel, about 9 amps per panel, totaling about 1600 watts. Earlier it was up to 2000. It really depends on the sun behind the clouds. Once these clouds go through and this opens up, this should pop up closer to 2000, maybe even 2200. So this is all 6, all set up. Hopefully they don't get knocked over by this wind coming up out of the there. This right here is the connector we're gonna be using. It's a TT30. It can do 120 volts at 30 amps. This is the Tesla mobile charger. You can either plug it into your house or into a 240 50 amp shore power. And we can just easily change out the connector here, and then we're ready to go. All right, for any mobile unit, even if you're doing a diesel generator for an EV, it does not have a ground. So when you plug this in, this charger is not gonna be happy because it does not see a ground. And it's gonna try, and it's gonna blink red. We provide this little contraption here. You can buy them on Amazon. They don't have a fuse on it. We did a custom to put a fuse on it. All it does is connect your ground to your neutral. So it tricks the machine to thinking that you have a ground. Just anywhere on the AC unit, and you're gonna notice that this is going to turn green here in a moment. There you go. The red stopped, now it's green. So before you can start charging, you have to come in here, go to charging and lower this down. The max on the machine is 30 amps, but we're gonna start it off at about 20. Open charge port, and now we can plug in. We can confirm that we're charging here at 20 amps. Should stop right at 20. There you go, about 2.4 kilowatt speed. All right, so now imagine you're camping for a couple of days. You just have this set up as passively creating energy. Right now we are bringing in about 1600 watts with okay sunshine, pulling about 2.4 kilowatts out. So we are going to drain our battery over time, which is why we're going to want to lower this. We'll lower the amperage in the car to match about 15 to 1600 watts coming out. All right, so with 1600 watts of solar coming in, we've adjusted it to about 12 amps by 120 volts. It's going to be right about 1600 watts, which is equal to plugging into your wall at the house. So again, imagine you're camping for several days. You'll be able to charge almost all the way back up, maybe about 20% while sitting. So let's check this out again. We're better matched. So we're actually bringing in about 1100 watts. The sun's gone behind some clouds. Once that comes out, it'll get up better. And we're taking out about 13 80 into the car right now. You can hear the fans are kicked on, but it's pretty quiet. So you can see here we're actually outperforming on our solar compared to what we're pulling out. This is good. This means we'll slowly trickle charge back up. What this also means is that we are directly converting what is falling on the earth right now in this small area into power for the vehicle. When you go to buy a solar panel, it will have max voltages. For these, it's about 39 volts per panel. Depending on sun conditions, temperature, it'll alter and change the voltage and the amperage. This unit is rated for 32 to 50 volts max. 3 times 39 is less than 150, because when we run these in series, what series does is it multiplies the voltage but keeps the amperage the same. The reason we do that is if these are each 11 amps and we run them in parallel, that'll be 33 amps, which will be over the max of 20 amps per connector. So the reason we run it in series is so that we can keep the voltage high and the amps low. How this is done is you put the positive into the negative of the next panel, the positive of that panel into the negative of the next panel, and you run them into a string, and these act as one unit now when they're wired in series. Think in a row, 1, 2, 3, instead of coming off of the main. So these are all running as one unit. So if we go here, you can see in controller number 1, we have 100 volts. That's 3 together as 1. And in controller 2, we have 3 together, almost 100 volts as well. That's these 3 together as 1. Because the sun is not great right now, we're down at about 6 to 7 amps per string of 3, which each string is 1200 watts. So we're performing at a little more than 75%, which is actually pretty good right now. Sorry, 66%. And also, disclaimer, I am not a licensed electrician. I learned this all from an electrician. Nothing that I say in here should be taken without consulting a professional electrician. I'm just showing what I did and why it works. The reason you want to keep volts high and amps low is if you have low voltage and high amps, if you were to conduct electricity, you could get hurt pretty badly. But as long as you know what your limits are, if you know what your device limits are, you have some extra fuses in there to help contain any sort of electrical arc or spike, you consult manufacturing specs and a professional electrician, you should be good to do this. But that does not mean that you couldn't have an issue. You need to avoid rainstorms. These cannot take heavy rain, nor can that box. If it starts to even sprinkle, you need to be able to close these up quickly and get them inside under cover. This is dangerous stuff. You are dealing with high amounts of electricity and you have to treat it as such. But if you do treat it as such and you have a good time with it, and you treat it with respect and you consult with the right people, this is a lot of fun. And it really is a great solution to being out in the wilderness for a long time while running an EV, even charging it with a good amount of energy, a good amount of range over a couple of days. If not, you can even cut the panels in half, do half of it, or even a third of it, and you'll still be able to power most electronics. My buddy, who's actually the electrician that taught me all of this, he actually runs a freezer indefinitely off of solar. So we always have new ice, and he uses one 300-watt panel. What that means is you really don't need 2.4 kilowatts of potential. Now I'm throwing around words like watts a lot. It is the power unit, which is voltage times amperage. Amperage is your flux. It's the amount of energy that's going through at one time. And your voltage, think of it like the pressure behind it. Think of water when you think of electricity. Amperage is the amount of water, volts is the pressure behind it. And together, it's the power unit for electricity. So when you have 2.4 kilowatts of potential, or 6 panels of 400 watts of potential, in 1 hour, they can have the potential to generate 2.4 kilowatt hours. That's what we use as a metric to run the truck off of. The truck uses 400 watt hours per mile, which means you can get 2.5 miles of driving off of 1 kilowatt hour of energy. So what that means is with 2 kilowatt hours of energy, we can get 5 miles of charge on the truck. During a nice warm summer day, these will be able to produce probably closer to 2.2 or even possibly even 2.3 kilowatt hours of energy per hour. You can see now that the sun's coming out, we are actually producing 1700. This was up to 2000 just a minute ago, and we are only still pulling 1400 out, which means we will charge over time. You can see here we're pulling in still about 100 volts at right about 9 amps. So I'll be honest, I actually am pretty impressed with these panels. We did have a couple blow over by the wind earlier, but that was with about a 15-mile-an-hour gust of wind. So they're actually holding up pretty well for the wind up here on top of this plane. When I do go camping or hunting, I do try to find a camp spot where this is low. I have the wind blocked by either trees or a mountain behind me, but really clear, nice sun in front of me. With flexible solar panels, I learned that if you have half of a cell that is hidden or covered by really hard shadow, that it can cause heating effects on the panel and bubble up on the surface. And over time, that panel will degrade. You want them to be in full sun throughout the day. So if you can put them next to a road or something that doesn't have any trees in front of it, while also keeping the wind off of it, not like what I'm doing up here at the moment, then you'll have the best results to be able to just leave them there all day. Now this is even in winter condition. In the summer when it's warmer, we have a higher UV index, we have more iridescence coming from the sun, we have clearer, warmer days, not as much wind to worry about. We will be producing close to 2,000 watts per hour, or 2 kilowatt hours per sun hour. That means with about 6 or 7 sun hours per day in the Idaho summer, we can expect 12 kilowatt hours per day. That means around 30 to 35 miles of range simply by sitting this out for a day while you're camping, hunting, hanging out with friends, drinking a beer, grilling, whatever it might be, and you are generating electricity for your vehicle. Something pretty cool is while I've been taking this video, we have actually charged the car a kilowatt. We'll be hitting 2 kilowatts here pretty soon. That is 5 miles of driving purely from the sun, just in the time that it took me to make this video.